Wallpaper can be one of the most personalized aspects of your home. Out at Lonesome Pictopia, they help put your dreams to paper with curated designs. They also work on handcrafted murals and mirrors. Let's go take a look.
Now it's time for Hot for Your House.
Hey guys, today we're down here at Lonesome Pictopia. Thanks for having us down.
Thank you so much for being here.
You guys do so many different things down here. Let's talk about that because I love what you're creating.
Thank you so much. Yeah, we do a lot. We do hand-painted murals and decorative painting, and then all kinds of different finishes. And then we have a wallpaper line. You can see our wallpapers everywhere in here. And our wallpapers are designed by us and other female artists. And then they are printed in the UK.
That is awesome. Yeah, wallpaper printing is its own art, right?
Yeah.
It's almost lost in some areas.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, in the US in particular, there was really a huge decline in the wall coverings industry in the 20th century, which is why we outsourced to England. We're really interested in historic printing methods and kind of trying to infuse those with new life, new design, new interest. So we don't do any digital printing, it's all analog.
Nice.
And because we wanted to explore these more historic printing methods, we're in England for manufacturing.
Yeah.
And then all of the things that we physically make ourselves, we do here in this very studio.
Nice. So we're gonna take a look. What do we got? What's first up today?
Yeah, well, first up today, we've got kind of the process of how we proof wallpapers right behind us on this table, so we can kind of talk through that.
Yeah, let's do it. What is the process of this? Because you guys, this is a start to finish thing. This is so artistic of what you guys do. I love it.
Yeah. Yeah, well, the first thing we do is we come up with a design. Sierra and I both tend to work first by hand and then digitize the design. We then send it over to our manufacturers who send us digital proof. And then this is the really fun part. Sierra, do you want to show the kind of color deal?
Sure. So these are the color cards that we hand paint with colors from our library. And then we keep a copy. Those are them, and then we mail a copy over to England where they match them by eye to print proofs for us of the different colorways that we want to see.
That is cool. So you guys are just creating your own colors. First you guys do the pattern and then go the colors? Is that how that works?
Yeah, and usually we'll come up with a few different color concepts and then kind of paint cards that reflect slight variations on those. And then what we get back, there can be some pretty significant shift because they're translating it, color is super subjective, and then also it's going into a different medium, so it's being in this case, screen printed. So, you know, what color is being laid over the ground really affects the color. And so from this, we choose which ones we like the most or think are the most successful, or we ask our manufacturers to make some tweaks until we get to something we're happy with.
Yeah, that's gonna be tough. I mean, I've hung wallpaper before and that pattern has to be exact when you're lining things up from sheet to sheet. So
yes, it does.
It just kind of blows my mind the accuracy that you have to have in that so that, well, you could put this on a wall.
Yeah, it's cool. Like the using the analog techniques brings in a lot of constraints that we actually really like. So some of our wallpapers are printed using rollers that print one color per roller, and they continuously print the design. And when you're roller printing, you're boundaried both by the width of the wallpaper, but also by a really perfect vertical measurement. So the design has to fit really perfectly within those constraints. And we actually quite like those boundaries. It kind of sometimes having some structure actually is inspiring. You have to kind of work with the medium instead of against it. It's really amazing. These were proofs for this wallpaper that's behind us, which we just launched this past weekend, which is why we've got so much of it up right now. And it was designed by a friend of ours named Mira Engetz, who's a really amazing designer and artist. And she designed this really thoughtful, really beautiful, really personal pattern called kudzu that's kind of in reference to her experience growing up in North Carolina and the mythology around kudzu in the South. And then there are all of these really sweet personal relics that are also really universal, like little sewing scissors and rings and stuff hidden inside of it.
Nice.
And our kind of brief when we work on wallpaper, whether internally or with another collaborator, is that we're really trying to have a connection and conversation with historic design. So we're really trying to be aware of the fact that we are not designing in a bubble, that we are sort of building on and working in response to everything that's come before. And so that's really our sort of parameter for how we decide on what's a good fit or feels right, is sort of, are there these layers to the design that are really intentional and really thoughtful and really evocative of something to do with historic design, historic pattern.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I love that mirror. I've never seen a mirror that matches a wallpaper.
Oh, yeah. Should we go look at that?
Let's go take a look at that.
Yeah.
Sierra, this is a very cool mirror. I love what you guys did with this.
Thank you so much. We really love it too. It was so fun to make.
I can't even start to think of how you make something like this because it's so beautiful and it matches the wallpaper as well. So how do you go about doing something like that?
It's a really cool process. Every step of it is so much fun. We started, a friend of ours made the frame, first of all. So we had this custom frame and we had glass cut to fit within it. And then we made a template by just holding the frame up and deciding where on the wallpaper we wanted the pattern to continue from.
Cool.
And then we gilded it. So you have to work in reverse. It's all on the back of the glass that all this stuff happens. So foreground first, we started with the leaves, and I gilded them using an adhesive made of gelatin on the back of the glass, which when it dries creates that super high shine mirror finish. And it's 12 karat white gold for the most part, but the ring, it's kind of hard to see, but it's yellow gold.
That's cool.
23 karat
I can just
gold.
catch the little detail of that. That's awesome. And I guess you're gonna show us how you do that.
Yes, I am.
Let's do it.
All right.
All right, Sierra, this is cool. What's the first step of this?
So here's our glass, and we're working on the reverse of it, and I've already put one coat of this substance on it. It's called gelatin size.
Okay.
It's just water with some gelatin dissolved in it.
Okay.
And then here we have a sheet of the white gold leaf, and I'm gonna pick it up with this tool here. So then you re-wet the glass here, where you're going to lay the leaf. And then very carefully drop it down.
Wow.
And right now it doesn't look like a mirror, but as it dries, you'll see over time it'll start to clear and like stick itself to the glass, and it ends up looking like this mirror that Melanie's holding, where you can just faintly see the outlines of the individual sheets of gold, but it's an unbroken, continuous shine.
That is cool. All right, this is absolutely stunning. What do we have here?
Thank you. Yes, so this is an example of one of our hand-painted wall coverings.
Okay.
So we painted this panel as a test. We were kind of trying out a new design. In this case, we gilded the ground and then painted over it. And this is on that fine art canvas, which we then installed just like wallpaper onto this panel. And so this is actually one of our customizable designs that we make to standard kind of 4x9 panels that can fit most rooms, but then we have the ability to do them kind of to any height, any width, to make them continuous or just have kind of a beautiful standalone piece.
Yeah, that is beautiful.
Thank you.
If someone was going to track you guys down to maybe take on a project or see what you guys can do, how do they find you?
Sure. So our website is lonesomepictopia.com.
Cool.
And then we're really active on Instagram, so that's a really good way to see kind of what we're up to at any given moment, and that's instagram.com/lonesomepictopia.
Nice.
And then you're always welcome to come down to the studio. Just shoot us an email. We're open Fridays and Saturdays from 10 to 4, but we are here most of the time by appointment.
Gotcha. That is awesome. Lonesome Pictopia, made right here in the Pacific Northwest in Portland. Ready for your next project.